talking about this new generation, but even more so for me, has been memory. He had a very big week last week.
Getting into the match immediately here.
Yeah, not only in the grid, but also regional.
On the ball.
Shot from Gimmick early on, saved by memory, and I was just kind of talking about that one. The audio should be all squared away. Sorry if we had some a little bit of a mix-up there. My buttons are sticking and getting one audio in the other one, so we apologize for that. But we're into the action, guys. What we're talking about is Kansas City Pioneers. A very talented roster, especially with the addition of memory up on defense here, Supersonic. He was the difference maker over pretty much for me. As you see him control it again in the midfield here, you're going to see him bring it in. The early challenge, and there's that chaos. Just sending one player after another, no matter what. Supersonic, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I stopped talking. I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know who's talking. I don't want to talk over him. Oh. Ugh. A little bit of a rough start here in this first match. 45 seconds in, we are down 2. A little bit of over-aggression here in the midfield.
You know, the way you said it the other week, too, is get him out of the way early. So,
yeah.
You know, only 45 seconds in, not too bad. And if Gimmick keeps putting shots with the help of AXB off the ceiling like that, I feel like we've got plenty of opportunities. A great read here from Torment. Unfortunately, he's going to get pushed to the side, but luckily AXB already rotating through with the boost. Going to challenge it in the midfield. And again, we talked about in the pre-show, not sure if audio came here again, so I'm going to reiterate this for the 3rd time. More so Supersonic can hear it and get his thoughts in, but very chaotic team. We talked about it with Fireburner. I think more of it than anything has been memory. His ability to maintain the midfield. He had a big performance last week.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be a... They're a bit more chaotic. They kind of throw the house right now. They're going to open it up. That's what we like to see. That's a great challenge there in the midfield. They see the opportunity. All 3 players, memory, rapid, beast mode, all present in the midfield. Nobody in the backfield. All you got to do is get a good challenge, get that pinch, get some speed downfield, and beat them into the backfield. This time, you don't even have to beat them into the backfield. We'll just rocket one straight down.
Just great play from the guys. They've got one player each kind of defending them in a man-on-man coverage. Almost looking like football back here. As this one drops down, bar down in from Rapid. Man, we've been getting punished off these kickoffs. A lot of aggression out the gate. Got to find a way to disrupt that.
Really, kickoffs. We've had a couple issues through kickoffs throughout the past couple weeks, and a lot of teams have done really well against us in those situations. So, might need to start trying to figure out a way to deal with those because we're not getting that second touch off the kickoffs as often as we'd like to.
I do like the transition in, though, from AXB. Sweeping through on his rotation, gets a demo, and should stop this one from developing before it starts. It's a unique touch here. Torment tries to go up for 2. Shot from memory over the top, and it's going to be in. Realistically saying, we are looking a little bit sluggish here. Some of these touches, although awkward, not where we want to go, and it's difficult for Torment, because if he doesn't jump for that, he's getting bumped by Rapid either way.
Yeah, some of the times we end up in these little bit of odd situations where we don't really have momentum, where like Gimmick kind of just pauses on the wall and tries to jump back and ends up popping the ball out. And really, there's a second player already there waiting for him to do that. And we didn't have players in the backfield in rotation for defense, which ends up opening us up for just a quick shot into the net. We need to figure out what to do in those situations. When Gimmick, I think he wanted to drop that to Torment. Unfortunately, the flip carries through and ends up knocking it out too far for him to get a piece of it. We are still on offense, though, bringing it around. Going to get knocked away by Rapid.
Yeah, it's a unique touch by Gimmick. It's just, I swear Gimmick doesn't know how to have, like, that finesse. It's either all power or nothing. Like, and by all means, obviously he has a ton of finesse. He's one of the best players in NA when it comes to mechanical skill in the air. But, like, I swear with that dominance, it's either 100 or 0. He just hits it hard on everything.
Yeah, I don't think that the dominance with how big of that front end is, the power shot section of that hitbox, I just don't think you can have quite as much finesse on the ball as you are for a player that's on, say, a Fennec or an Octane, where you have a little bit more to work with, that kind of pointed nose to direct the ball around. Gimmick's going to just end up blasting them in or out.
Well, you see
Which
Torment
we
being
love to
pretty
see.
aggressive. Trying to go for some stuff on the back end. Also utilizing what is called a speed flip for those that don't know. Instead of doing something like a half flip where you're trying to rotate out quickly with a diagonal flip backwards and then canceling that so you can rotate quickly, you actually can do that forwards as well. And it's faster than just a typical dodge. So it's starting to see a lot of players utilize that in their core progression to make sure they can utilize that speed and move around as much as possible. It's a good challenge here from AXB, gonna pop back down. He actually ends up falling it back into his own lap. As it pinches back the other way, it looks like the setup was potentially there. But again, a ton of aggression here from Kansas City Pioneers, trying to bump their way through. But Gimmick's gonna win it over the top, over to AXB. He drops it down, and Torment's gonna have to retreat.
Yeah, I think he was looking for that pass down to Torment there. Unfortunately, it wasn't really back enough for him to make that challenge. He does make the good decision to drop back, Torment being that third man that typically just knows when he needs to get out, if it's going to be good or bad. Makes a smart decision to get out of there. Coming down to 40 seconds here, though. I'd like to see us get another goal just to get something going, a little bit of momentum to take into game 2.
Yeah, obviously these guys are going to play until the ball hits the ground, and we run out of time here, so at this point, just seeing if you can go for something solo to get those feelings there, and that's kind of what I want to see. If the pass plays and stuff haven't been able to develop, you might as well make them respect your individual plays. As Torment there with the double touch possibility. Getting saved and pushed away. Again on the backboard, it's going to be Beast Mode who keeps it to the corner. Gimmick with the fake challenge should allow this to kind of settle down. And it looks like we're finally starting to get our footing. A couple double commits there early on. Hopefully communication clears up, but unfortunately, Kansas City Pioneers are going to take game number 1 in the series.
Yeah, I think the double commits and the miscoms there in that match are really kind of what created this situation. We saw AXB and Gimmick kind of on top of each other a couple times on the sidewall. Gimmick, I think, had a couple cuts that we probably could have just let come back down. Week one was really where I thought Gimmick was playing the way that we wanted to see on defense. He'd shadow the ball down, bring it into the corner, and be able to boom it back out, turn it into a pass play. He's been doing this kind of odd stops on the wall and just trying to kind of jump out in front of it and float his car there. And then he doesn't have any momentum to get back into the play, and the rotation gets thrown out a little bit. And Kansas City was definitely making use of that situation.
Yeah, Kansas City, credit to them. They did provide a lot of space for themselves in that moment. It's something that a lot of these aggressive teams are getting better at, where, yes, they can challenge the ball, but knowing how to utilize that space to make sure it continues is one that I think we have to give credit to Kansas City Pioneers, especially with their bounce back after their rough week 1. So, again, a lot of these teams still having pretty solid regional performances and are going to be one of the competitive teams. I did just recently bump Kansas City Pioneers into my own top 10 power rankings. So, again, not a team that we should be taking lightly, and I know for a fact it is a good test to something that we struggled with against last week in the fast, chaotic play style. Is good pass field. Mid does get stopped out. A good demo by Torment, and that's kind of a good way to start it, is trying to find a way to break up this rotation from Kansas City Pioneers. Might as well remove a player, but you find Torment alone on the back, does manage to trap it and get possession. It's going to play past 1, make that 2. A relatively important clear downfield, dished right back. So Kansas City Pioneers find themselves up on offense. A pass inside, stopped by AXB. And it's going to be Gimmick that dribbles it the other way.
Yeah, Gimmick looking to try and get that up a little bit further onto his hood so he could get a flick over the top. Wasn't able to get control of the ball in time. He is going to get after this one quick, but again, him and AXB both double commit onto that corner. AXB does go ahead and concede that, though. Starts rotating back, so at least a quicker recovery out of the double commit. AXB looking for the upper 90, can't find it. Gimmick there to finish it up. We're going to take the lead here in game 2, 1-0.
Yeah, everybody on that defense even respected it. You look at Memory, who's rotating it, and he just gives up. He's like, yeah, that's going upper 9. There's nothing I can do. He parks the brakes, and actually Rapid ends up running into him, so Gimmick's got the easiest cleanup he could hope for. And a better start here, no conceding on the kickoffs.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to take the upper 90, and if it wasn't, it looked like he was going to double it down. So I think they were just trying to stop, because that double most likely comes down somewhere into the mid on the line. But when you dead stop on your line and you have no momentum left, and Gimmick's coming barreling down on you, you better respect it, because he's going to punch that ball in.
A little bit of hesitation here on the back wall, and unfortunately for AXB, he's going to flip the wrong way. Luckily, Torment from the heavens going to drop down and make a save. Important one at that, and Gimmick able to bring it down, playing super aggressive. Communication seems to be a little bit off today.
I think Gimmick is trying to make a lot of cuts. I think he's trying to be that aggressor to try and be the disruptive player at the moment for us. But I think he's just overextending a little bit here and there. And he seems to be in the double commits with Torment and AXB. So those cuts need to get called out. What a shot, though, from Gimmick off the back wall from the pass off Torment. What a play.
Oh my god.
I don't care. Everything I said, I mean, I was kind of being a little, like, you know, corrective and saying, yeah, I don't care. You know what, Gimmick, you're a monster. Don't listen to me. You're obviously better. I just talk while you touch the ball. There's a reason why you're playing and I'm not.
You know, you talked about him wanting to be aggressive, and we said he was being too aggressive. Turns out he just needed to be even more and just sit on their back wall.
When I
Beautiful
say be less
pass up.
aggressive, I really do mean just go. Just be as aggressive as possible. Don't have a care in the world.
Big credit to that pass as well, right on the money. And unfortunately, it's going to go back the other way, but I still want to keep talking about that goal. It is so difficult and so risky to stay upfield that much and just have faith. And you can, it's just, unless you've played the game to understand how difficult that redirect actually is, wild, absolutely wild. Still up by 1 here as we approach halftime and kind of go past, but
I mean, that redirect going from the other direction, if you're coming up for the ball and trying to redirect it off course like that, is hard enough. Once you get upside down and you're trying to shoot the ball down and on the net, it just complicates things even more. It just shows off their skill set.
Well, big thing to take away so far here in game number 2 is it looks like the kickoff issues we're having don't seem to be as big as a problem.
Yeah.
Is Gimmick going to show some individual effort, getting past one and a flick past another. Puts a shot on target and forces that save as we see the rest of the guys follow suit. A lot of aggression coming out, going to deny the boost here in the midfield after a big clear. Should be able to alleviate it. No, a pre-jump from the defender of Kansas City Pioneers is going to keep it back in our half, but should be relatively okay. One up front and another one behind him to support, and I think that's kind of the answer with these aggressive teams is you need to put someone in for the initial challenge. But make sure that support structure is there from behind him so we can follow it up in case they bring in yet another one.
Yeah, 100% agree. We need that first man to be in the face. We can't let that opening player on their end. I mean, here when it's all the way in their backfield is one thing, but when it's in midfield, we need to be there to meet that ball over and over again. Torment caught out of the box here. Gimmick not back on rotation yet, and that one's just going to go right over him. Torment knew he was out of position. He had overcommitted and immediately tries to get back, but not a chance.
Yeah, really difficult on that one. AXB goes up for the challenge as he's trying to beat out another player. It puts it a little bit too hard off that corner, so Torment not close enough to the net to try to make a good save, and he's too far up to make an early challenge on it. So again, Kansas City Pioneers making it awkward for the V1 guys and tying it up here with a minute left. We find ourselves back on defense, another pinch all the way down the other way. And without hesitation, some boom ball back and forth. And unfortunately, this one, they have the faith that a teammate can get it. But it gets intercepted by the aggression from Kansas City Pioneers and put into the open net.
Yeah, Gimmick trying to get out for that one. Unfortunately, just out of his reach in beast mode. Being as aggressive as he is, being that guy on Kansas City that's just upfield all the time, is immediately there. Puts all the power in the world in that shot.
Ball played across, and a big clear into the midfield by Rapid. Looks like they're just going to try to maintain possession. 30 seconds here. Torment going to sit behind this one, see if he can force 50. He ends up delaying it and getting past Rapid, so he fools him with the slowdown. Pass in field, a shot top left from Gimmick. Off every single post. It looked like perfection, but it's going to bounce out.
Oh, why? Why does the crossbar hate us so much? Gimmick
Still
had to have
7 seconds.
said something to the crossbar. He upset it at some point here.
Well, it's still not over. Still 1 second if they can keep this one up and bring it the other way. It's going to be difficult, though. And like that, it is going to drop and hit the ground off of pinch on defense. And putting us at match point. So a difficult situation here. Going to need to reverse sweep on the way on out. But I will say it is starting to trend a little bit better in the other direction. First game, we were susceptible to a lot of kickoffs. That has seemed to eliminate. This is something that we talked about last week against Alpine. Similar situation. It looked like we were going to win that OT, but we over-aggressed when we got to those final moments. So This is another good opportunity for them to prove we are learning, we are improving. So should be an exciting one, but yeah, definitely an uphill battle. Kansas City Pioneers giving it their all.
Yeah, Kansas City Pioneers. I mean, we got to show a lot of respect to them. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we're a little biased. I mean, I'm literally wearing V1 gear here, but you know, Kansas City Pioneers are definitely showing up right now. They've got a bit more control than I'm used to seeing out of them. They're super aggressive still, but it seems like they're kind of letting that third man be back. They're sending two. Every now and then they send the house. Doesn't matter right now because we're going to send the house, or at least the ball, straight down and into the goal, just out of the reach of the defender off this kickoff. Torment going to get it from the pass from AXB, puts it on the money.
Yeah, I really like the spacing on this one too. Both Torment and AXB on the right-hand side working together as a give and go. One with that air roll shot puts a ton of power, and even still, if it's not there, Gimmick is on the other side ready for follow-up or to rotate back on the defense. So spacing of the field seems to be cleaned up as AXB's got a solo. Is he going to get the flip reset? No, it does not connect. And we're both going to fall back here. He's picked up in the corner and just played immediately on target. Good clear from Torment. Had a player trying to challenge him on the side wall. Wanted to get rid of it as much as possible. As a big shot on target and a demo for the follow-up. And then another shot. So starting to get that form in. This is the version 1 we saw in week 1 that we were really excited about. That kept the teams on defense. The constant pressure, shot after shot. And a lot of it has to do with some of these awkward touches. So AXB now the third going to come in. He's going to play this in an awkward position. And handled relatively well on defense. It's cleared back out. Another play from Gimmick to put it back in. A lot of back and forth, but at least this time, trying to beat it in the midfield. We don't even want this to get anywhere close to our half. There's aggression in the corner. Popped up first, and does get a piece on it, but it's going to pinch all the way back down. Someone's going to decide to take this away from the corner and play it directly downfield over to Gimmick. That's good awareness. He's got another player challenging over the side. That's multiple times that he's done that. To get rid of some of that pressure, followed up with a demo by AXB. And Torment's there again for a challenge. So just trying to beat these guys at their own game. And quite honestly, I think we can do it.
Yeah, that's really what you need to do when you're up against these teams. Alpine's another one that does this a lot. They want to win that midfield battle. They're going to get up in the air. They're high-flying teams. They did it throughout Rival Series. It's one of those things where you kind of have to almost play their game, but play it a little bit more controlled. And AXB has been so quick this round to be up and maintain our offensive pressure by winning those midfield battles when they try and get those big clears. They want to boom it all the way downfield and then send everybody downfield and just get on offense. So if we can win those situations, a lot less pressure on our defense.
Now the difficulty with it is when you play this fast, aggressive play style, I joke about it being you're playing with this no consequence mentality, but the difficulty and the reality of it is it's a massive domino effect. If one thing doesn't go your way, if a shot doesn't come out, you find yourself super susceptible to being scored on. So again, both teams, all it takes is 150 and it could be an opportunity. We saw that with the pinch in game 1, and have been actually punished it on our half quite a bit as well. So the good thing is it does seem to be that our teammate and our rotation is starting to match up pretty well, where we are going 1 for 1, where if a player on them is going, so are we. So a little bit of a balancing match here. Both teams just trying to get something going. We're up by 1 with 2 minutes left here, and obviously needing to win everything here on out. It's a lot of unwanted pressure, but if anybody can handle it, it's definitely going to be this veteran roster. There's a big clear, able to get a second touch and a demo for it. This could allow a breakout, but again, everything in pairing. We do something, and so do they.
Yeah, I think we're a little bit more comfortable right now, too, of just kind of doing this back and forth and eating the clock while we're up 1-0, and we're looking for opportunities. We're trying to win the midfield, but we're definitely not committing as hard as we were at the start when we were going for the goals at the end of last round. Gimmick gonna get another here. 2-0, minute 30 left. Game 3, we talk about this each week. It's kind of being that match where the teams figure, oh, he ends up setting it off the defender. What a touch. Talk about game 3 always being that game where you kind of start figuring out the other team. This is when the transitions happen. This is when you make those corrections to your play. And it does feel like we have changed our pacing. We are going to give up one, though, as I say that. Memory going to punch one in. Brings it back within 1.
Yeah, it's just good control by Rapid, even though he's got memory underneath. Something that Rapid and Memory have actually been playing together quite a bit. Not as a team on the official roster, but together for quite a while now. And they do definitely have that coordination. So Rapid goes for the pre-jump in the corner. Allows them to play that back down, but neutral 50 here in the midfield from AXB. A minute still remaining on the clock plus. A lot of time still left in this game, especially with the 1 goal differential. So, again, needing to be careful, but Demo going out the other way. It's going to be up to Gimmick. He's back alone solo and does make it there. Good play by him. The hustle from Gimmick has been kind of the difference maker so far. It's a big pass over to AXB. Right on the ground. Places it. Shot, unfortunately, in the middle of the target. Makes it for a save. But again, those pass plays finally starting to develop. We've seen a couple of them here and there. And good save again by Gimmick. Yeah, trying to cut off that double touch.
Yeah, I think it looked like he had that double touch. Gimmick wasn't there. I think that one was going in. Gimmick again, there to meet them immediately, trying to get those challenge. And AXB, it's almost like Gimmick and AXB have kind of swapped positions a little bit here in this round, where Gimmick feels like he's that one in the rotation on offense, trying to take a play out of our book. Is Kansas City Pioneers trying to jump one in off the back wall, but it feels like they've swapped positions a bit. AXB's waiting in the middle in case Gimmick loses the battle to win that midfield battle and keep the ball forward. And then as Gimmick comes out, Torment comes in and gets a touch here and there, but he is still kind of, I don't want to say he's playing that island, but he's getting back there on defense and making sure that we have someone in net.
Well, I think that's the exciting thing about this roster. It's a big clutch save on defense again here. By Gimmick, putting a body in the way is going to allow us to stay alive in this series. But kind of further emphasizing your point, how it feels like these two players have switched roles. I think that's the exciting thing about this roster is every player is fully capable of mixing it up. You can interchange these performances based on who's kind of feeling it. And at this point, both Gimmick and AXB are playing extremely fast, but Gimmick seems to be the one punishing on the ball. So yeah, let him go, let him loose. Let Gimmick do whatever he wants. We joked back in like 2018 that Gimmick was the best ball chaser you could ever want. And there's a reason why. He will beat you to the ball. It's just a matter of by how much.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, he's going to get there, and he's on a Dominus. He's got a big body to go ahead and stop that ball and win those 50s. So, and he knows how to make use of every single bit of those curves. So he'll get up and get in your way. I like seeing this kind of change here, and I think this is one of those changes that we needed to play against a team that plays this style on the ball. We need to be present in the midfield more. We can't just fall back with the ball and then try and bring it back out and send the offense down. We've got to get in the way. Close one there. AXB with the save wins the 50, but they are going to bring this one back in. Torment there looking for Gimmick, unable to get it, but Gimmick, all the speed, he's up for it, coming back down to challenge that ball. They whiff. We got an opportunity to bring this one out, but they get the demo on Torment. Our second man won't be there.
Gimmick, you find a new home there, buddy?
Okay. Gimmick that. You know what? I'm not going to say anything.
Treating their goal like it's his own garage, man.
Just hanging out, man.
Yeah.
It's like checking it out. It's like, oh, you know, orange is a nice color. It's not quite as good as blue and purple, but, you know. I mean, I guess your guys' garage is okay. Nice demo there from AXB in the backfield, opening up an opportunity. AXB puts it on the money. Goal. Assist. Torment.
Yeah, really good play. You're talking about controlling that midfield. Torment comes across field for that one and just dishes it off, and that's communication. You can tell Torment could have doubled that if he felt like it, but he leans out of it and knows that AXB's coming through, so starting to find that really form.
Oh, no. Not like this.
Just so aggressive off this cheat up. You can see Rapid the way that he approaches this as well. Neutralizing it as much as possible. That's the risk you take. Obviously, we talk about cheating up being something that a lot of teams do. For those that don't know, the ability to set yourself in an opportunity and taking the risk to put yourself in a position to get that possession right away. And sometimes it doesn't work out. You see it happen here. Rapid cheats up extremely hard, but now finds himself having to retreat and giving us an advantage. Torment trying to go for an opportunity. It does tie it up here at 1 apiece, but the aggression now in our favor on Kansas City Pioneers half. Torment going to try to pre-jump this one. It's a little bit awkward, so it is going to have to be saved and put aside by Gimmick. Shot on target, 2 people there, no difficulties. As the players rotate out to grab some boost, should be able to beat this in the midfield. And with AXB there, could make it awkward.
Defense going to be there. Third man had the read. Torment a little too far back to be able to play that pass off of AXB. It was definitely a good look. Saw what he was going for, just unable to convert on it. Again, I think most of the possession is kind of going our way here still. It's pretty close. but it does feel like Gimmick is getting in their face once again, at least not letting them have clean shots out of the midfield or near the goal. Gimmick is typically there almost every single time. Torment bringing it down for Gimmick. Gimmick going to try and control this one. Memory has the read, though.
Yeah, it's going to emphasize your point as well. It does look like we win a majority of the aggression game, but it doesn't feel like we're winning the possession game. Like, we are winning challenges and getting it the other way, but
yeah,
the touches don't seem to follow each other up. They've been having a pretty hard time, I think, kind of finding each other with some of these passes. And when they do, they look absolutely lethal. And I don't know if that's just credit to the chaos that is Kansas City Pioneers and their play style, or if things seem a little bit off to you. I don't know which way to kind of credit it. So, again, hoping to find it.
I think I credit it a little bit to Kansas City. The one thing they haven't let us do, if you've watched for it, we haven't had... Oh, my God. Right up the crossbar again. Gimmick trying to break it once more. One of the things that we haven't been able to do right here, flick from AXB, that's the closest thing to a flick we've had. And it was kind of off a little bit on the upper 90, out again. How many times can we hit the woodwork? It's got to break, right?
Just one shot after another at Supersonic, and it just seems like we're so close so many times. But not something that's talked enough about Rocket League is it is a punishing game where you can have offense the whole game, but until you score, it doesn't mean a thing. So again, a bunch of shots here from Version 1, just unable to put it away and give ourselves that differential. It's well played in the midfield. You're going to see getting up top. Great follow-up by Gimmick again as he's going to deny the boost in the corner. Should follow down, trying to play this around, and it looks like Torment was possibly going to get dunked on that one. Glad he didn't. Ends up playing around the other way. And a big demo is going to allow us to bring this back into Kansas City Pioneers half. It falls in middle and challenged by Memory. Talked about him in the pre-show. His defense has been absolutely stellar for Kansas City Pioneers and pretty much the difference maker since they brought him in. But looks like we're starting to get a couple of these attempts more and more here from Version 1 as we get into the final minute.
Yeah, coming down into the final minute, we have made the corrections, and it's become much more of a battle here of trying to get control and possession. We've just got to get the ball on target. I started talking about it earlier, and then they went on this spree. We haven't been able to control the ball to bring it up for a flick or any kind of real possessions. We've been forced into having to kind of bang the ball around the field in this setup. Nobody really on either side taking true possession of the ball and trying to walk it down. It is an aerial battle.
This game seems more and more like a dogfight than anything with the way that you just described it. So again, the difficulty is, yes, there is that pressure. You know someone is going to challenge. So you just bang it the other way, and you see it again. Just more shots, one after another. Good save by XB. And good patience up top on the backboard as well from Torment. You can see him like a hawk, but a chance to close it out. They play the shot on target, and beast mode with the last second effort, able to get back. But this could be dangerous. It's going to drop down. Can they look out for the play? Unfortunately, at 0 seconds, Memory's going to win it.
Look away, chat. Look away. Oh my God, that save on their end opened that up. It was a disgusting save. All the credit in the world to Kansas City Pioneers. They played their game. They were able to get shots on net time again. We just didn't have the changes earlier enough. I think that if we had if we had what we had in Game 3 starting Game 2, I think that series is a completely different series for us. But I do have some good takeaways here, is that I think we started to sort out how to play against this style team in case we run into them again in the future. This is the style team that we're having issues dealing with.
Yeah, this is again, I talked about how this was going to be a similar matchup to last week. We're very chaotic, super aggressive. And the biggest issue is a lot of these teams, when they try to play that match, they have a very hard time finding a way to maintain that possession, because you're just so nervous that if you go to trap the ball, you're going to be challenged again. As we take a look at the stats here, Gimmick obviously trying to will his way in that offense and create opportunities. And a couple of those pass plays when they came across were just absolutely superb. The one that comes to mind the most is obviously AXB's only goal. But again, the difficulty is when you're on defense, you want to slow it down, be able to get that possession, because it forces that team that's just playing super fast in their rotation to have to actually think about it. So the scary thing about that is if you do slow it down and that challenge comes out and it's a 50 and it goes the wrong way, you're leaving yourself in a really tough position. So again, I think we did a good job of trying to adjust to that fast pace. But Kansas City Pioneers, man, they live in the chaos and they're able to get the win out here. How Beast Mode managed to get back for that save and allow them to dish it the other way, I don't know, but very big credit to the young gun. That's a very much so veteran play that I think he'll be happy about.
Yeah, making a play like that in that situation, that amount of time left on the clock, that level of pressure, having to completely pump brakes, dead stop, ball on the line to be able
Yeah.
to get your car placement to then make that save is so hard to do. It is a very, very fine line on where you stop and whether or not that's going to work. It was a beautiful save from him.
Well, we take a look at the highlights here. Obviously, saw the pinch that kind of kicked it off for us. Came off that slower play style. Obviously, Torment brought it into the corner, was able to drop it down. But you look at the difference here, where it's just we smack it up, and if there's no challenge there, yeah, we can able to crash on the net. We can get an opportunity because everybody's playing so fast. But the difficulty is, I mean, if you watch these highlights, the big thing I want you guys to notice is it's a battle for who wins midfield, a battle for how awesome of a shot Gimmick can hit. So far, he's the winner in my book, but every single one of these touches is just so much power down the other way. There's very minimal control and ground play that comes with it because everybody's just so afraid to hold on to it for more than a couple seconds because they know they're either going to get demoed or someone's going to be in their face. So again, a very difficult time. The couple times that we do get those pass plays developed, they look great. I mean, another one here as everybody's kind of watching, but again, efforts trying to challenge that midfield and win it. They forced Memory into an own goal, but this was a battle. It was back and forth.
Yeah, to me, when we do get into situations where we are, kind of taking it from one of these teams, it's just so offensively heavy and in your face. I think we looked better here than we have in previous matches of this type of team. G2, probably one of the teams that's actually, while in the house, does it, I'd say, almost the best. But because they're a bit more controlled, typically we took that to game 5 when we played them week 1.
Yeah.
And they kind of throw that play style, but I think that they're the evolved, more veteran version of what the Pioneers are throwing, what Alpine is throwing in those aspects. And they understand where the line is better than anybody else that runs that kind of style of offense. So being able to figure that out and get into the midfield and start finding Gimmick in that number 1 position and comfortable, the big body, get up, block the ball, I think is good for us in the long run.